All right, we're the huge movie, or should I say, translated, that's for the huge movie fanatics here coming to do a review of The Dark Knight Rises. Now I just want to, I guess I'm going to start off here. I just want to tell people that we reviewed the trailer, I think 3 trailers, 3 separate reviews, and I just want to let people know that I wasn't super, I was anticipating this in a small way. It wasn't like I really cared about it one way or another. I was like, because after Dark Knight, I was just like, because I think he did a lot of great things with that one.
Oh yeah.
And I was just like, wow, what's he gonna do next? And so I just want to make people clear that I don't believe I was expecting a whole lot. I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, I saw it, and my quote, if I said a quote when I came out of the movie, it would be, I've had bowel, no, just kidding.
Ouch.
No, it wasn't that bad, but I was disappointed.
Yeah.
For me, this is, and let's get your reaction. For me, this is the worst Christopher Nolan Batman.
Okay.
And I was really, kind of like you had a lot of problems with Prometheus. I have a lot of problems with like little details in this and stuff. But little details are kind of not so important. The whole, I kind of liked how it began. I just have so many questions about hopefully this won't be a 30-minute review, but I liked how it began. I think the best thing about the movie for me was Catwoman.
Yeah. Fully agree.
Yeah. Would you say finally we agree?
No, fully agree.
Oh, fully agree, because I'm like, we've agreed before. So I'm like, yeah, Catwoman, the casting of that was great. One thing I loved, because Christopher Nolan doesn't really do necessarily, which is cool, the costume so much. Wasn't that a stroke of the best thing about the whole movie was probably the fact that her fucking little, whatever they were, jewel thief goggles, when flipped up, it looks like cat ears, man.
That was
the best, for me that was the best part of the movie, and the best part of design, and it was just genius. And she was obviously rather kind of somewhat attractive in the bodysuit.
Oh, she was wonderful looking.
And too little of Catwoman, and too little for my taste, and too much. One thing I gotta say is he just completely blew the world away with, well, not only the opening, but a lot of other stuff in Dark Knight, but the opening. And for me, after the opening, or the, whatever you want to call it, prologue in The Dark Knight Rises, the opening, the plane ended, I'm like, all right, that's it. It's like, you should have done that in Dark Knight, and then done the bank one in Dark Knight Rises. It just, to me, everything in Dark Knight Rises was way under what he accomplished. And it felt like it should have been the second. Well, like I say, it's my least favorite. So, if it had been the first, I don't know. I'll hand it off to you, and we'll go back and forth.
Well, I think pretty much everybody was disappointed with Dark Knight Rises. I am included in that. But
what's the reason? Did we expect too much? I don't.
Yeah, I think he set the bar way too high.
That was his fault.
The Dark Knight. I think he knew, because the groundwork, the idea for this movie, it works really well. What doesn't work is that it just doesn't feel whole, and I think part of that is he might have been saving the Joker for this movie. And with Heath Ledger gone, there's no way to do that.
Oh, you mean the character as well to come back, because he didn't die or anything?
Yeah, he didn't die. They clearly left it open.
And he replaced Rachel. Why not just replace?
He said that in interviews that he couldn't even
do that.
Yeah, because he had such a close connection with Heath on the movie, and then he said that's why there's not even a reference to him.
So his death might have fucked up the movie.
Yeah, basically. But
that's kind of actually weak to. I understand his thing, but we're talking about a movie here. So you should just. What do you think about that? You think you should have done that, or screwed it? And got
I know what I would have done for the movie, and it's actually kind of similar to what they ended up doing, because I even made a prediction back in one of the things how it was going to end, and I was right. I was like, it's going to end like the comic book The Dark Knight Returns. That'll be the final scene. And that was essentially what the final scene was.
Yeah.
That's 2 this year.
Two predictions. Wow.
2 predictions, 2 right. So, booyah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know. Like, I know what I would have done, and I actually wouldn't have had the Joker as like a main villain. I would have had him there though. I would have had him show up in a cameo, much like what's his name Scarecrow did in all 3. And I love Scarecrow's like cameo in this one. I was like, bravo and all that.
Crane, not Scarecrow.
Well, I mean, he was Scarecrow. He was Jonathan Crane. He just didn't have the mask on, but he had the suit that was like all ruffled.
Oh, he
and
did.
stuff.
Oh, I see.
But I'll get into that some other time. Anyway, what I would have done with the movie.
Some other time.
The movie has a lot of pluses. A lot of pluses. There's quite a lot of pluses for this movie, but like there are a couple of pretty hefty negatives. I'm gonna go with the pluses first because I always go with the negatives. Why not start positively? I really liked Joseph Gordon-Levitt as the officer, Jonathan Blake. Really liked him. He was an interesting character that like the audience was supposed to like emotionally connect to, and I did. And I thought he gave the best performance in the movie, with the sole exception of Catwoman, Anne Hathaway. She was the best thing in the movie. Holy crap, she was awesome. And I really quite loved her. Going into the movie, she was the thing I was least excited about. Coming out of the movie, she was the thing I want to see more of. I liked Bane. Bane had the problem. A lot of people say you had trouble hearing him, and it's true. I mean, there were some parts, like when they're both fighting at the end, and it sounds like 2 dogs barking, like. But I did like. I thought his performance was great. I really liked his performance. It wasn't nearly anything like comparable to what they did with either of the villains in the second movie, but he did a good job. I've seen him in other movies, and this was unlike anything he'd ever done before. There just wasn't a whole lot to work with. It was his problem. I think he could have really knocked it out of the park. That said, I'm not really sure why they chose to have his voice sound like Marvin the Martian, because he did sound strikingly like a Looney Tunes character.
Oh, really?
But yeah. Anyway,
one thing I like real quick, I'll just throw it in there, is at the stock exchange. It's like, well, what are you doing? There's no money here. Well, yeah, and why are you here? Or
Yeah.
I thought that was a kind of a cool.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, go in here and slaughter the mother.
Well, yeah, but like, I don't know. I liked the use of Batman in the movie. I liked the reveal of Robin in the movie. You didn't like the reveal of Robin?
Well, I don't know. To use the movie to just set up what's he gonna do now? A freaking just a Robin movie then?
No, Chris Nolan addressed this once in an interview, and he said there's a moment in the movie where Batman asks Bane why he's doing this, and then Bane says to give the people hope, and so when he was asked like, well, does that mean that you're going to make a Robin and or Nightwing spin-off? He said no. And then they're like, well, why did you have that ending of the Dark Knight Rising kind of thing? And then, because I'm assuming he'd take the role of the next Batman.
Yeah.
And then he's like, to give the people hope. And I was like, you just compared yourself to Bane. But anyway, I was like, that's kind of neat. That's
Well, yeah, but
interesting.
you can understand it as a movie goer how it feels like a blatant setup.
Well, yeah, a lot of my
money,
friends
cash
are
cow
like,
movie shit.
a lot of my friends are like, oh sweet, they're gonna do it, but Chris Nolan said he's not going
I
to.
hope
And,
not.
so yeah, like, and if they did, it might be kind of okay. Like, Batman's died in other things, in the comic books and stuff, and they did have somebody replace him, and like they could do another
Christ,
Batman movie.
in 3
but
years there'll be a reboot of.
that's what they're talking about. There's already going to be a reboot, so there's no like. That's why it's never going to happen. But I liked a lot of the movie, but there were things that I just couldn't get past. The fact that it really isn't comparable at all to The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight, here's the difference. This movie was a safe movie. It didn't take a single chance. There were no chances that the movie
think that
took.
was my problem.
Whereas
it was so
Batman
much.
Begins took chances. Dark Knight took a whole fucking lot of chances. But this movie played it safe, and it like at least even in The Dark Knight, they played with the character of the Joker even from the comic book. So like hardcore comic book fans were surprised. Same thing with Two-Face. Whereas this movie, if you knew the Bane storyline and knew what happened, it happened exactly like it did in the comics. If you knew Catwoman's storyline, it happens exactly like it did in the comics.
His finger went.
Yeah,
Bends
I
it
broke.
back. Oh.
But anyway, if you know like how the Batman goes out, it's basically exactly how it happens, and so that's why I was able to make that prediction ages ago of how it was going to end, and there's no surprise there. And
I felt like out of all three of the Nolan Batman movies, this one felt like the studio had this stranglehold on it.
yeah,
It felt like a studio, like okay, you know, Dark Knight Rises was way too good, way too inspirational. We can't have this. We got to have the normal summer, boring, predictable crap. I don't care if you're Christopher Nolan. We're Warner Brothers.
yeah.
It just it felt like a studio stranglehold.
Maybe the movie also the other biggest problem with the movie is it's a number 3 and it suffers from the same thing all number 3s suffer from, which is you have way too much going on, way too many characters. Cut it down, scale it back.
Yeah.
Spider-Man 3 I actually think is a pretty decent movie, but they had so much going on that like the whole Venom storyline in that movie did not need to be there. Had that been taken out of the movie, take out the Gwen Stacy stuff from that movie would be a solid, pretty good 2-hour movie. But with all that extra half hour that was pointless, added nothing, and ultimately made that movie sort of hated and made the whole franchise therefore look bad. Because a lot of people remember that one because that was how it
Most
went out.
recent one.
Yeah, exactly. So you ignore the supreme quality that Spider-Man 2 represented. That's what sort of happened with this
For me,
one.
the trilogies of Spider-Man and Dark Knight are identical.
Strikingly
Where the
similar.
first one, I wasn't the biggest fan of the first one. It's compared to what's come out since. You know, the first one's great. Second one is like, oh, and then the third one for me, of both trilogies, is the worst. What about you and Spider-Man?
I loved the first Spider-Man movie. I was
the third one. Where's it ranked? Is it the worst?
Oh yeah, of the Spider-Man trilogy, the third one's certainly the worst.
See?
This one, I don't think.
Oh.
Okay, so The Dark Knight Rises is obviously the worst of the 3 movies, but I like it better than Batman Begins.
Oh, okay.
So like I'd rather sit down and watch this one because my flaws with the first movie are stuff that I can't really look past, which is him. Like, there's a strange thing in the Nolan universe where there are flaws in all 3 movies. I can look past it in Dark Knight. I can't look past it in Batman Begins, where he's like,
Dark
I
Knight
will
Rises?
not. No, in Batman Begins,
When you
where
say
he's
Dark
like,
Knight, you can look past in Dark Knight Rises?
oh no, I can look past
Dark
it in The
Knight.
Dark Knight.
Oh, okay, sorry.
In Batman Begins,
Yeah,
when
right,
he has
yeah,
the
yeah,
sword
you
and he's
said
like, I'm not gonna kill this man, but I'll kill everybody
everyone.
else.
Yeah. Well, maybe that was
I
a
mean-
mistake. Do you think that was a mistake?
I mean, even if it was unintentional, he was willing to make it so that everybody possibly died. Which, like, he set up, like, he was a terrorist in that in that scene. He went into somebody else's place, blew the place up, let everybody die, walked out. If they lived, great. If
I
they
didn't
didn't,
walk out. He was like blown.
I suppose. Well, he sort of like slid out. But anyway.
Oh yeah.
But so like that, like I can't look past that in the first movie.
Gotcha.
This movie has its flaws, but I'm willing to I'm like, you know what? The first time I saw it, I was really disappointed. I saw it again just because I was like, I need to see this twice to see if I was just going into it with Dark Knight expectations, and I was.
Oh,
Because
so
I didn't enjoy. Oddly enough, I enjoyed it more the first time. Like I was never bored the first time I saw it. Second time I saw it, I was like, whoa, okay.
Ticking bomb. Yeah, it's driving
Yeah.
around the car.
Pretty much. And then I started comparing it to the end of the Avengers, and I was like, the final climactic battle in the Avengers, like, it moved, it had flow, and it was, like, a lot happened, and it went on for a long time, but every moment sort of felt like it had its purpose, whereas in this, it's just like, okay, yeah, I get this is a grand epic scale, we've never seen this in Gotham before, but my god, this is going on forever. And, like, the only character that did anything in that final battle was Batman. Like, you got a little bit with Jonathan Blake trying to get the kids off, but he couldn't get them. And then Catwoman shows up and shoots Bane. And,
Isn't that the most?
like, I kind of liked the scene, and I liked her little joke, but at the same time, he was such an epic villain, you want to see him go out, and that brings me to the Avengers again. You got this epic villain who is a bastard throughout the whole movie, and he comes face to face with the bad guy. You expect him to like have a big epic fight, and the Hulk just beats the living shit out of him and leaves him there.
Yeah.
Whereas, well, like, there was a sense of comeuppance, and he
Yeah,
got
yeah.
taken away. Whereas in this, he's like, you know I have to kill you, don't you? And Batman's like, let's go. And then like they're getting ready to fight, punch, and then
Boom.
she just explodes. He's dead. They don't even cut back to him. It was
I
like
know.
he was such a
when
nothing.
the movie was over, I'm like, what happened to Bane? I couldn't
Yeah.
even remember.
Exactly. Like and granted, no one wants realism. When you get shot, you stay down. That's true. I'll give him that. But cut back to
Show
him.
the body.
Show the body.
staying
Show
down.
him. Show us that he's fully dead or something. And like I don't know. I had a problem with that. The other problem I had, which is it's odd that I'm like willing to accept a man getting bit by a spider. Oh yeah, he can like lift a car now.
Yeah. What
But I can't accept the fact that
Oh.
they established firmly 3 times in this movie that there is no bridges into Gotham. How the hell does Bruce Wayne show up from Mexico? Like how did he show? Did he walk across the ice, which they also firmly established you will fall through to your death?
I hate the fact. Oh, go on.
But yeah, so I was just like, it's weird that I'm like willing to accept a man getting bit by a spider and becoming a superhero, but I'm like, I don't think he'd make it across that bridge. Like, but whatever.
I don't like the whole thing they painted. Like, if you look at some of the trailer reviews, I was really excited that, you know, the movie was going to go out dark, and I don't know what I was thinking, why I thought they'd ever do that. Because Dark Knight went so dark, that's why. I mean, they killed Rachel
Yeah.
and stuff. I mean,
Nobody died in this
that
movie.
was one of my biggest problems with it.
Same
Because
thing.
the trailers, you see Gordon, oh, he's in the hospital bed, you see this and that. It's like everyone's going to die.
Somebody
and then no one
should
died.
have died. Somebody should have died. And I said that to people. I was like, the biggest problem, like, and the reason that I had no fear at the end of the movie and felt that
Because
Batman
you
was going to
knew.
be okay was because nobody had got, like, Gordon got hurt, but he got hurt, and he was able to come back from it. Nobody else even got hurt. And I was like, oh, Lucius. Lucius is going to be the one that shows that there are casualties in war. No. Nobody freaking went out. The only reoccurring character that got killed in this movie was the mayor from the second one.
Whoa.
And I didn't even remember that he got killed until I read about it on the internet. I was like, oh, that's right, he did. He blew up, didn't he? Somebody should have died. I don't care if it was like if they were really ballsy, they would have killed Alfred. But they should have killed Gordon. They should have killed. Even Catwoman, they should have killed Batman. It doesn't matter. Somebody should have died. Lucius should have died. Somebody should have died. And I predicted the ending with Talia al Ghul. Like I kind of expected that. I did like the cameo of Ra's al Ghul.
Oh, that's right.
I thought that was kind of neat. It was strange how this connected more to Batman Begins than The
Isn't
Dark
that
Knight.
funny?
But that's how all trilogies go. It followed exactly Randy's rules, which is it gives you something that isn't true, that wasn't true from the, that is true that wasn't true from the get-go, which was the Talia al Ghul thing. And I knew that was going to happen because that happens in the comic books. But when Miranda Tate showed up and then they had that weird romance that seemed completely forced, I was just like,
what the?
that's weird. Like, oh, she's Talia, I bet. And then, and turns out, especially when she was trying to take control of Wayne, I was like, oh, that's a son of a bitch. She's Talia al Ghul. She's the one that's gonna have control of the bomb at the end.
And that was one of my biggest problems.
I had no problem with the bomb. I was
mean,
like,
the
whatever.
bomb. Oh gosh, we've never,
I'm
ever
not sure
seen
how he
that
survived
before.
the nuclear blast, but whatever.
And that cheesy ass shot at the end when Alfred, he looks like right in camera.
Do you think he died, or do you think he was? Because that's the thing on the internet. Did
there's
he
talk
actually?
about is Alfred seeing what he wants to see, or
Yeah,
what?
is Alfred seeing what he wants to see, or was that Bruce Wayne's version of heaven?
I just took it
If
for
it-
what it was. I
it-
thought he was alive.
I think they firmly established that he was alive. But like, if they were to do the he's in heaven thing, or Alfred seeing what he wanted, it would have been Rachel that he was sitting with at the end, not Catwoman.
Yeah,
Because he
there
was
you
sitting
go.
with Selena Kyle at the end. But it was
Yeah.
cool that she was wearing his mom's necklace. I thought that was a nice touch at the end of the movie. You had to look very fast, but she was wearing the necklace that she tried to steal in the beginning.
Oh golly.
But I was kind of satisfied
Fell
at the
flat.
end that Bruce Wayne gets to live a normal life, which he never had, and I kind of like that. It's a safe move, but at the end of the day,
I thought it was stupid that he got that back-breaking thing and then he just like recouped. I hated that portion of the movie where he's just like,
Oh, you know,
Like, do-do-do,
yeah,
do-do-do.
he has a
It's
training
like,
montage and he's better. They
No,
also firmly
that's just-
established that his leg is
Well,
fucked
how
up, and
come?
then
How did his leg get screwed up?
I just assumed like from years of fighting.
Oh, okay.
But,
Well, I wonder. Well, I thought he took a. I
Took
thought
years
he.
eight.
I thought at the end of Dark Knight,
Yeah.
that was the last he did, though.
Yeah, probably. But
So
like,
then, oh, it was screwed up then.
yeah, probably. Like it was deteriorating then. Like he was.
It wouldn't have healed over the 8 years.
No, I don't like because it was the cartilage.
Oh
It
yeah.
it
Well, wouldn't he have
disintegrated.
done something with that before? Whatever. That was
But he
just
didn't
one of
leave
my
the house.
many problems.
But-
Well, yeah, but if your leg
but-
hurts, you probably should go to
Yeah.
whatever.
But
That was
anyway.
one of my just many problems, and it's just like.
The other problem that I had was that there was no need for a love story. I liked the fact that Rachel lingered throughout this movie, and I liked that a lot. But it was like overnight he was just like, you know what, I'm over her. You're right, Alfred. I should get over her, and I'll get on top of. And then he's with Marion Cotillard, and I was like, why? Why does he need to be with somebody?
Just
I was
a
kind
sex
of.
scene, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I
it
was-
wasn't even a sex scene.
I was kind of fine with him being with Selena Kyle because that's from the comic books and whatnot. But at the same time, like that seemed really forced too. Either have him be with one or the other. It was exactly like Spider-Man 3. He was with Mary Jane, but oh, he kind of like Gwen Stacy. Okay, I'm with. Well, we're not gonna really be together, but we're kind of together.
Which is, well, we're together enough so we can put a shot in the trailer.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, it wasn't in
yeah.
the trailer. I don't think it was shot. It wasn't in the trailer, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, so
They'll shoot it where that happens a lot, where it seems like they shoot a scene so they can have a second clip snippet in the
yeah,
like just so they can put like they'll do a sex scene just so they can have a quick shot of in
yeah.
the trailer, you know. But that's all the scene will be in the movie too.
Yeah.
It will be 2 seconds longer than the shot in the trailer.
It's like Star Trek, the 2009 Star Trek.
Exactly,
yeah.
that's a perfect example.
But
Stars.
it deserves 3 stars. I'm gonna give it 3.5 just because I'm skewed to liking Batman. I was entertained throughout the movie. Like Bane's a cool villain from the comics. I loved seeing him done fucking right, not the Batman and Robin Bane who's like, "Ugh." No, this is Bane. Cold, calculating, smart. He knows what he's doing, and he was able to beat Batman. I was kind of hoping that Batman would also lose the fight at the end. Like Bane's
Should've.
just somebody he can't.
He should have. I mean, that
Uh,
was one of the many things
but-
that they should have done.
Yeah, like,
I
but
mean, he doesn't have to win.
but like, had I seen this before I'd seen The Dark Knight, or had this been like the first Batman movie I'd ever seen, I would have loved this movie.
The
So
problem
that's
is
why-
it comes after.
The
Dark
problem
Knight.
is it comes after Dark Knight, but I'm not going to hold that against it. So that's why I'm giving it. It deserves 3 stars. I'm giving it 3.5. This is my second favorite of the Nolan trilogy. Probably my second favorite Batman movie. So there you go. 3.5 for me. I'm guessing. Oh, I was picturing 2.5, but 2, just 2.
Yeah, looking back on it, I almost wonder why 2. I was gonna see it again before the review, but I was just like, because like you said, you were just like the second time. That's how I would have been.
Yeah.
So
So.
no, it's 2 because it was just so much of predictability. Like I said, it felt like Hollywood took over, much like what happened with Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, Spider-Man 3
And it
was
felt
not
like
his
the
movie.
exact same thing happened to Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, and like Blade Trinity was the first of the comic book movies, and like Blade 1 and 2 are not great movies. That you're charitable to call them great movies, but they like the first one was good, the second one was a little better, I guess. Third one was such a terrible movie. It had so many characters. It was so awful. There was nothing good going for that movie, and it destroyed my liking of that movie and the series.
Yeah.
I never want to see the Blade movies again. That's how bad that third one was.
Yeah.
X-Men 3, The Last Stand. X-Men, good. X2, better. X3, so bad, I literally will never watch those 3 original movies again. I've given the X3 3 shots, and I've seen the trilogy like all together in one sitting once before, and it's just so bad it ruins everything that comes before it. Luckily, First Class came out, and like now I have an X-Men movie I can watch.
Oh, but does First Class make you watch 1 or 2?
No, I
never.
never watch those.
Never.
They're done.
So if you want to torture Matt, put him in a chair and put
Pretty
the Clockwork Orange things on him, and
Yeah,
X-Men
pretty much.
1 or 2 or
I just-
3 would make your brain
Yeah,
explode.
like it's just so bad. Spider-Man 3 was the best of the number 3s to that point, but it still had the same problem. It was so bad that it kind of ruined a little bit what came before. I still love the first two movies, and I still love the third one. I'll watch it. I also gave that one 3.5. Didn't deserve it, but I liked it.
We haven't even reviewed it, so you just spoiled the review.
Yeah, sorry. And then this thing, same thing. Like, it kind of ruins the trilogy, but you know what? It's a good movie. Like, and this is probably the best of the comic book trilogies, if I'm being honest. So, there you go.
All right, Dark Knight Rises. Mostly just, I mean, it's just like this, you know.
I liked it. I very much liked it.
It's just like this. Are you done?
Yeah.
Thanks for watching.